Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to go over my Pandas eyeshadows update. I've got all my palettes here and I'm excited to just do a little update. I have struggled a little bit this month. Like I did last month, I'm not gonna lie. I do have one pan that I've hit, so I'm super excited, but let me just get into the update. I've got all my notes here. So this is the color story that I've been working on. There is a fish shade right here, but it's quite hard to see because it is almost my skin tone. So sadly, the shade that I have used the least is from my Yasmin palette. This is from my Ali Beauty, and I really love this palette. Anyway, this is what the palette looks like, and the shade that I have in the project is called Trunk, and it's this lovely deep pink shade right here. It almost comes off as red when I blend it out, and that's kind of how I use it. I don't use too much of it. It is so pigmented, so there's like hardly any progress that you can see. How many times have I've used it 5 times, which is not really a lot. I mean, I'll admit it's not a lot, but you normally after 5 times in uses, if the shadow is soft or buttery or flaky, you see a little bit of use. This one, I feel like you cannot even tell that I have used it. I'll put some pictures up, but yeah, I don't even know if you can tell I've used it, but I really like just blending it out to where it's almost like a really light pale pinky red tone. I don't really use it for this shade, like really bold looks. I haven't done any bold looks with it this month, I don't think. I've just been blending it out and I really like the way that it looks. I paired it with my other shade that I have in the project, which is from the Mint to Be. I paired it with that and I thought that look really nice and I like that look. And then otherwise I just use some other shades in the palette. So I think this month I dipped into this lovely duochrome shade. It's a gorgeous shimmer, and this one is called My Alley. I think I also dipped into Munasa. They've got some interesting names. This is a lovely pale duochrome icy shade as well. All of the shimmers in this palette are absolutely stunning and gorgeous. So far in this project I've used it 11 times. I imagine if I really push myself I could potentially roll it out next month. I'm not going to be able to hit pan just with the way that the shade is. I'm just going to use it 25 times and then I'll roll it out. I just know that's going to happen. There's no way that I could ever hit pan in this. It would just take me so long. The next shade that I've used the least, which is probably no surprise to anyone including myself, is from the Club Nebula palette. I love this palette, but the shade that I pulled is probably one of my least favorite shades. It's this one, Queen of Blades, and it is this really dark green. And you know, it's spring, I don't really want to do some dark looks, and I ended up doing some dark looks and I really didn't like the way that they looked and made me feel. I want to be bright and light and I just wasn't feeling this, and I'm not feeling this shade. I mean, literally these two shades in this palette are really needed. I mean, they're great that, you know, so you can create versatile looks, but all of this is spring. I wish I had pulled one of these beautiful shimmers in the project when I pulled this this palette into the project, but oh well, I didn't. Yeah, I only used this 5 times, so it was a little bit disappointing, but I did push myself to use it that 5 times. I really didn't want to use it. So I'm kind of feeling, I'm wondering if I should just roll it out. It's not something that I'm going to be enjoying, and I know that Becca Hope, she does seasonal palettes, so she has a group of her spring palettes, her summer palettes, autumn, winter, and I just feel like that makes a lot of sense. I haven't split my palettes up that way yet, but I feel like if I continue to pull shades that I feel are just going to be more wintry shades for me and not really shades that I'm going to want to wear in the springtime, which is where we are now, then I might just copy her. I did roll it in last month, so I've really only used it those 5 times from the once when I tried it in my first impressions. So yeah, I will keep it in another month, but honestly, I'm really just not enjoying it. The next shade that I've used the least is from my Revolution palette, the Chilled palette. I love this palette. It is one of my favorites, but I pulled this one, which is Dope, and it is a lovely shimmer, but it is a little bit dark and grungy. So it's this one right here, and I just find it a little bit, I don't know, when I put it on my lid, it actually doesn't even pull that color. It pulls a lot deeper than that on my lid, and I'm just, again, it's been a little bit too dark for me at this point. I wish that I pulled this one, this Candyland shade, which is really nice, or any of these I really love, or just these lovely shimmers here. But I don't know, I only used this how many times? 7 times this month, and you can actually see some progress. So, you know, you can definitely see that there's a dip. So potentially I could, depending on how deep these shades are, I'm going to definitely keep it in the project. And if I can use it a little bit more this next month, then hopefully I'll get close to hitting pan. It just really depends on the looks that I create. I wish it actually did pull this color on my lid because this is quite pretty. Actually have it on today with a blend of some other colors, and it kind of does pull that color. I don't know, it's a little bit of a mess. I put this on this morning, but yeah, it's not one of the ones that I kind of prefer in a palette, unfortunately. Okay, the next shade I've used the most is from my Mint to Be palette, and it is this lovely shade right here in the middle. This is called Mojito Mummy, and you can see that there's a dip forming. So it is this gorgeous shimmery green. I have been trying to use this as much as possible. I'm getting so sick of green looks, to be honest, so it has been a little bit of a struggle. I used this 9 times this month, and I definitely think that if I continue, I could hit pan. I feel like, you know, there's a strong dip there, and I feel like I'm getting close. It is awfully buttery. It probably is the worst shade that I've ever tried in Colourpop, to be honest, in terms of formula, which is really disappointing. I love the look and the color, but the way that it just is so powdery, and I guess a lot of their shades are like this, but I haven't delved into all of the palettes that I have from Colourpop yet, so it is just like a learning curve for me. I don't like how powdery they are, to be honest. I don't mind fallout on my face, you know, I expect that, especially with the technique that I use. I don't use the best technique to do my makeup, but I don't know, I just feel like it's a little bit crumbly, and I'm not too fond of that. So I've used this 15 times now, from this last month and then the previous month included, and I definitely think that I'm going to get to 25 uses if I don't hit pan sooner. So I don't know, fingers crossed, we'll see what comes first, but I am trying to hit pan without actually trying to hit pan. And then the last shade is from my Primark palette. This is the Rose Quartz palette, and this one I have hit pan. So I don't know if you'll be able to see in this glare, there is a little pan right there. I've been literally using this with as many looks as I possibly can because it is such a light cream shade for me. So I just feel like I'll just whack it on and then figure out what I'm going to do next. It's just been one of those shades that I just use. Similar to this one, I use this one so many times in my Pan eyeshadows, and I just wanted to get this out of the way. And it is a really easy shade to use. So I found it similar to this one. As I said, it's just really what's the word, it's soft. That's what that's kind of how I would describe it. It's a really soft matte, and yeah, very easy for me to use. So I used it 15 times this month, and then last month I used it 13 times. So yeah, haven't used it a whole lot, but I hit pan, so that's pretty cool, and I'm going to be rolling out a new shade. So I thought about this a little bit, and what I'm going to do is roll in a 6th shade, because I feel like if I do hit pan on this Mojito Mami one, which I don't know if I'm as close as I feel like I am, if I do hit pan, I want to have another shade to start working on. So I'd rather start now and actually have 6 shades, and then potentially by the end of next month, if I really push myself, I might be able to roll this one out, depending on if I've used it enough times or if I've hit pan. So I am going to roll in 2 new shades, one to replace the Rose Quartz one from Primark palette, and then a new one to have a 6th shade. So hopefully that's not cheating, but I am going to be doing that just to give myself a little bit more variety. I've literally got, you know, 3 green shades, and then this reddish pink shade, and then nothing, which I need to get rid of anyway. So I kind of want a little bit more color, maybe something gold, something blue, I don't know. I actually have a few new palettes this month that I picked up. So I have 335 shades that I can pull, obviously minus a few, but I'm just going to do 1 out of 335 in the random generator. And yeah, let me just get that set up. I'm just going to hit randomize. So the first one is 311, and then the second one is 234. So I'm just going to pull those, see what they are. And what I do is basically, if it is a shade that is too similar to the ones that I already have rolled in, then I will not do it. If it's a shade that's similar maybe to this one, which I've literally just rolling out, then I'm not going to do it. I am going to allow myself to you know, have that opportunity to switch it out if it's just too similar, or I've literally just worked on it and I don't want to work on it again, because then I just don't want to burn myself out. I want this project to be fun for myself, and I want a variety, and I don't want to have to force myself to use shades that I just don't want to. Wow, okay guys, I don't really know. Okay, I don't really know what to do with this, because I've rolled in 2 green shades and I already have 3 green shades, so let me just see how close they are, because if I have a whole color story of just green and then 1 red, I don't think I can do it. Okay, so the 311 one was actually from a new palette that I've just picked up from Primark, and this is their neon palette, and the shade was 311. Let me just see which one, because they're not numbered, but I do it in a certain order. So let me just see. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it is this one that I have just rolled in. I haven't even swatched these. I haven't even taken the plastic off. So let me just swatch it, see what it looks like. It actually looks really nice. It's a shimmer and it actually looks really lovely. I think this whole palette looks really lovely. And, you know, just because it's Primark doesn't mean it's going to be really bad. Okay, it's a little bit buttery, but look at that green shade. Wow. So it looks like that. It's like a grass color. Wow. That is, ooh, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. That is really quite pretty. It's different from all the other greens that I have, but do I want 4 green colors? I don't know. I kind of like it. Let me see what the next one is. So the next one is from Just My Luck Colourpop. Yes, I am so lucky. So this one is, let me just see which one. So this one is actually the last one. So it is a more brown shade. It is the shade Charmed, and it is a matte, and it's kind of like a murky green color. I'm not sure I'm fond of this at all. It looks pretty horrid. Yeah, so I don't like that. And this one, it kind of like just, it marries with that one, doesn't it? They're both kind of murky and grungy, and I'm not all about that. So I don't think, I'm not going to roll this in. I actually know that I'm not going to roll it in. I don't want to roll it in. I'm going to put my foot down and I'm going to roll in another one for my 6th shade, because I do want a different variety. I'm going to keep this one in. I think this one is fun, and I've never really like, well, I wouldn't say never, but I haven't worked with a green shade like this in a while, and so that just looks kind of interesting. Let me roll in another one and see what it is. All right, here we go. 91. So you know how I said I wasn't going to split up my palettes between seasons? I actually have deliberately, in terms of how I've like organize them and stuff, and like Just My Luck, I actually put it in the autumn like area, and this next one that I've just chosen, 91, is from my NARS Afterglow palette, and I feel like this is also sort of autumny for me. So they're both picking from the autumn one, and the one that I have picked is this one over here. So this is a beautiful, it is a like a satin beautiful like bronzy color, and it's so much nicer than this horrible one. So I think I'm going to definitely, I don't know, that wasn't a very good, this is not a very good swatch. So it looks like that. You can see that sheen there. So yeah, I'm going to keep this one in. I'm not going to roll that one in. I'm going to keep that one. And then obviously that's going to be rolled out. And then maybe eventually that one's going to be rolled out. I don't know. What a mess, right? But so my new color story is this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Ignore this one and ignore that one. So it's kind of, I don't know. I think there's a little bit of cohesion there. I'm really excited that the NARS Afterglow palette was picked, because last year when it was picked, I think I picked one of these shades was picked, and I just wasn't very interested in either of those 2 shades, because out of this whole palette I think the shimmers are so beautiful, and I haven't really used this shimmer all too much, so I'm excited about using it. Absolutely, I really think that's great. I'm excited about trying this one out, because like I said, I haven't even swatched it. So what I'm going to be able to do is play around with everything else in there. Yeah, it looks really beautiful. The Mint to Be, I will try to pan it as best I can. If I can't, then I will probably just have 6 shades at the end of the month and carry on. I might decide at the end of this next month, if I don't use the Queen of Blades shade enough, then I might just roll it out. I'm just going to allow myself to do that. I don't want to get stuck with shades that I really don't want to use, and that one is one that I really don't want to use. But I don't know, I might be able to play around with it a little bit more now that I have this green shade and this. I don't know, I might be able to be a little bit creative. I also think I might roll this one out as well if I get to 25 uses, because I've already used it quite a bit. So I don't know, fingers crossed. There might be quite a more update to do next month. I thought this month I would do a lot more makeup, but I felt like it was a little bit similar to March. I did try, but I'm just dipping into other colors and not so much of these colors. So I don't know, we'll see. I feel like the shimmer, I like the fact that I've got a lot of shimmers now. So yeah, I've got mostly shimmers. I've got 4 shimmers and 2 mattes, so that's exciting for me. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like to. I really love this project. I find it so fun. I find it fun to just tally, like, you know, how many times I use these shades and stuff like that. So yeah, I really enjoy it, and I'm really glad that I really started officially doing it, I guess, properly this year. Last year I just flipped it every single month, but I really enjoyed this system because it really just, you know, makes you realize what you like, what you don't like within your collection. I am trying not to grow my collection, but it is growing a little bit. I hope everyone's staying safe, and yeah, hopefully I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.